Hello, everybody. We're going to try this again. Hopefully, we'll be able to get some feedback and people will be able to join me. I'm hoping so. Live broadcast is always difficult. Eventually, I'm going to have to. Hey, Donna, mama, baby doll. Are you out of church already? So, what I'm trying to do is talk about this topic. I don't know if you got a chance to see it earlier. A few moments ago, I was talking about emotional intelligence, and the topic was basically our attitude is more important than our aptitude. Our attitude is more important than our aptitude. And so I wanted to see if anybody could join in and talk about it. I'm having some difficulty with my technical issues here, trying to make sure we can get something going. Oh, you're on your way home. I know you had a good time, didn't you? Hi, LaCree. So LaCree probably knows what I'm talking about. How you doing, Thomas? So we're talking about emotional intelligence, which has to do with our EQ, our emotional quotient, how we handle things emotionally. And more often than not, and I talked about this briefly before, when we find ourselves in difficult situations, whether it be when we get frustrated, when we get angry, when violence happens, we have problems on our job, problems in our personal relationships, it always starts out from an emotional place. How I'm feeling about this, how something made me feel, and we react to it. More often than not, we don't have a response, we have a reaction. And more often than not, our reaction is an overreaction because it's based on what we're feeling versus what's really happening. Because we can never really know what another person is thinking. Hi, Pamela. So we can never really know what another person is thinking. We can only make what? Assumptions. And you know what the old saying says about that. We don't really know. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had a situation where you talked to someone about something and you found out that their perspective about that issue was totally different from yours. And you found yourself frustrated, angry, ready to knuckle up just to find out that they didn't even intend it that way. Because once again, when we think about assumptions, you know what they say. All right. And we really don't know what another person is thinking. We all come with our own frames of reference to any situation or circumstance. We come through with our own cultural experience, our own, family background, all of these things, we have that makes us who we are, but that doesn't make the other person that same way. Okay. And so it's very important for us to think about that. So, let's talk about that. Let's see what you said. You said yes. Okay. So I know you had an awesome day with the Lord. I want to talk about this topic, see if anybody can give some feedback about how important it is for our emotional intelligence to be at a higher level. And this is difficult, even for me. I study it, I've known about it for years, but I struggle. And when I have struggled, and when I've struggled, it's because I let myself get pulled in. What I do is you can have a reaction, but pull yourself back quickly. Don't let it linger. It's not something that's going to kill you. It's not going to affect your health. It's not going to put you in a criminal situation. It's not illegal or immoral. It's not something that's going to, harm your family personally or harm yourself. How much do you need to really be invested in it? You can only do so much. And at the end of the day, we can't change people. We can only change our perception of what they're doing, our response to whatever they're doing. You cannot change that person. They have to change themselves. And that's a hard lesson to learn, particularly in relationships. When you want someone to respond a certain way and they refuse to. Okay? When you think about it in the workplace, people have had to leave jobs because the job just wasn't a fit for them. You can get emotional about it, you can get frustrated, and all the people around you are going to do is just laugh about it, or they're going to judge you based on it. Okay? So, emotional intelligence is a task. It takes a lot of work. It's a constant work in progress. So let's see what anybody has to say. So I want to pull somebody in. I wish I could pull you into this live video. Let me see if I can pull you in. I wish I could. Let's see. I'm going to share this. See if somebody will come in. This is all new to me, learning how to use all of this stuff. wish I could pull you in this live video. I don't even know how to pull people into the video. There must be a way to do it. But anyway, I think that a lot of situations in communities where, violence exists, I think that relationships will last longer. I think that people would do better in businesses if they thought about removing this emotional process from it, pulling all that back, not looking at people based on their personalities or based on your perception of them. Because 9 times out of 10, you don't know what it is. You don't know them. Who do you really know? Outside of those in your serious internal circle. Now, how many times have you had a situation with somebody in your family you thought you knew you didn't know? So do we really know people? To be able to create a perception about them based on our own beliefs? No, we don't. And we can't. Okay? Let somebody tell you what they're thinking. Don't think for them. And so many conflicts have happened because of this problem. Because we don't look at things from a logical standpoint. Okay? Now back to aptitude versus attitude. This plays all into it. How was your attitude? You could be the brightest light and be dimmed by a nasty attitude. So let's talk about that. So ask me some questions. I would love for you to ask me a question and we can answer it, talk about it, or have a discussion. We can have a discussion about this attitude versus aptitude. I often can't tell whether people are here or not. I see one person on the live, so maybe we only have one person right now. And I don't see any questions coming across. But what can happen is if you watch the live later, you're welcome to ask some questions, and then I'll do my best to respond to them. So let's see if Mama asked a question here. Let's see. I'm listening. This driver has his music on. Well, you know how much we love music. We love music. So let me see. I don't know if I'm freezing. I don't think I'm freezing. I charged up my computer a little bit so that it would work. Let me invite. There's somebody who asked me to invite them. Let me see if I can invite this person now. Let me see. I'm going to invite somebody to ask me because I'm going back live again. And hopefully they'll be able to come in. Because I think this is such an important topic, working on our attitude. It's hard for people, specifically when they're caught up in their feelings and feeling that they're right. I've had to eat humble pie so many times in my life. And some people would think that I eat too much of it. I take a lot of responsibility for other people's actions sometimes, even when they're against me. Because at the end of the day, I bounce back. And then I leave them to their own, so to speak, devices, so to speak, of their own consciousness and let them work through it. And sometimes the way that you could deal with it is just by pulling back and distancing yourself from someone and let them work through that process to figure out whether they've wronged you or not. And if they don't come back, there's nothing wrong with being by yourself. There was a speaker that I recently heard about. Hey, Kimmy. And I'm going to give his name because this was a powerful presentation that I watched, and I was moved by it. You have to look this up. It's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. And the person name is Dale Bronner, Dalebronner. He talks about right and wrong relationships. And one of the things he talked about was the fact that sometimes you have to remove yourself from those situations when they're wrong. Because there's nothing worse than you actually getting into a beef or getting into a problem or having your spirit or your mind affected by a situation with somebody that you can't control anyway. High blood pressure, stress, health, all type of health problems, loss of bonds, loss of your mind, worrying about somebody else. It's your attitude that you have to change. Okay, your attitude impacts how you're going to involve yourself in that situation, or not involve yourself in that situation. It really, really starts with our attitude and our perspective about pretty much everything. Any topic that you could think about, you could throw a little attitude in there. And I guarantee you, when you throw it in there, depending on how you acted, impacted that situation. And yes, it does mean sometimes we have to take the higher position. We have to go to the higher ground. We have to humble ourselves. It doesn't feel good initially, but eventually it will, because to give you peace of mind. You know, I have more peace of mind now by just letting things go. I can't change certain things. It is what it is. Okay? All right? So let's talk about this. What about acting in anger? You know, when you think about when you do something, how about when you try to get somebody back? How does that make you feel? Now, if you say it make you feel good, then I'm a little worried about you. Hey, Mama Brenda, what's going on? Mama Beautiful over there. So I want y'all to ask me some questions, say something, tell me something. Okay, let me see what Kimmy said. Let me see if it's coming through. I wear my heart on my sleeve too. Let me tell you something. That's the worst thing for us in the moment in which we do it. Okay, we are gifted with empathy. If you're gifted with empathy, you're gifted with a big heart. You're gifted with caring. Sometimes you're going to suffer a little bit through the process. Okay, when somebody hurts that, but don't personalize it, because even if they come against us, with people who have big hearts, it is their problem. It's not a reflection on you. It becomes a reflection on you when you place your attitude, negative attitude into it, or negative actions into it. Then it becomes a reflection on you too. Because people don't remember what we did for them, okay? They remember how we react, all right? How we react when they don't show appreciation. How we react when, we get frustrated from constantly giving. How we react when we talk about what we've given. Those type of things. So it's a process. It takes time to have a high EQ. It's easy to have. You can study to have a high IQ, right? Some of it you're born with it naturally. Some of it you can study to gain it. But with EQ, it takes a huge leap of responsibility, of constant assessment, constant regulating your behavior, correcting yourself immediately and thinking about it, saying, okay, I really messed up on that one. Okay, I need to check myself. It's a constant process, but I guarantee you'll have better health. You'll have a better mindset. Who's there? Is Guy there? Hi, Guy. How are you? We're talking about emotional intelligence. I'm also talking about how important our attitude is versus our aptitude. And I wanted somebody to ask some questions or give some feedback or tell me what they've been through. Thank you. Guy said, now, you heard what Guy said? He said, even if it's personal, don't take it personal. That's hard. Because at the end of the day, it's their problem. If you know who you are, don't feed into it. And that's taking the higher ground. Thank you, God. That was excellent. Self-assessment, yes, because none of us are perfect. God, break that down. I like to shout out my friends and people that I know. I want you to take this down. Guy Jazzy Rainey has his own page and his own books, and he does presentations as well. He's into upliftment. So I want you to check out Guy Jazzy Rainey's page as well. So you'll see him in the feed. Please check out his page. I also want you to check out Sisters of Faith, Donalise Donaldson Robinson. Okay, she's on here as well. I want you to look at Sisters SITAHS of Faith, because that is also an organization that's helping the community. Okay, so it's important for us to shout each other out, all right, and help one another to keep this thing going. Because, see, negative news travels fast. Negativity, people post that all over Facebook. They'll share that a million times. Even when I'm on my Goofy Fun page, I post things that are really miscellaneous and silly. But at the same time, we have to have a balance in life. It's okay to enjoy things and have fun, but there's a time to be serious, particularly in a community of color where we need to really promote positive things and positive resources and positive energy. Okay. So we need to post the positive things as well, to share those things. Somebody needs to hear something. Okay. And it's not about perfection. You can give advice based on something you've been through, something that you don't want somebody else to go through. So just because you've been through things in life doesn't mean you don't have anything that somebody can learn from. Actually, you have something people can learn from because you pulled yourself out of it. Okay. So it's important for us to do that. Yes, indeed. We all have flaws. We all have flaws. Okay. But I'm very, very transparent. Now, let me tell you something about transparency. And this is the last thing I'm going to say for today because I don't want to chew your ear off all day. But I always say this, and it's a quote that I made up, which is, my transparency allows you to judge me. Just because I'm transparent and I'm willing to share things with you, don't think you can take that and use it against me. I'm sharing it to help you learn. So when people share with you what they've been through, don't, that's funny, or make a joke or talk about them, because they're sharing for you to learn from it. And some of us are so blinded, we can't even see our wrongs because we're too busy pointing out everybody else's. Look at the man in the mirror. I'm always willing to look at the person in the mirror at all times. I look at this woman in the mirror on a daily basis, and I'm constantly trying to correct the behaviors that I have issues with. Okay, but that doesn't mean you can use it against me. And so we have to be careful throwing stones at others. Okay, that's another thing that people do. Learn from people's experiences and grow from them, and don't repeat them. Don't do what they've done. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about. Yes, the coffee guy. So I really enjoyed you coming on. Hopefully I'll be able to do this again. I may have to use, I know Donna Lise explained to me, Donna, I call her baby dog, baby. She explained to me there's a way to use Periscope or some other format. And I'll be working on some other things. But I just wanted to come out and share things that I'm thinking about and to get your feedback. And it's always going to be straight. It's Mama Brenda, I only know how to be straight. Okay. And, hopefully somebody will grow from it. So y'all have a wonderful afternoon. And thank you for joining the Butterfly Experience LLC. Have a wonderful afternoon. Peace.